Hey everybody, this video lesson is going to cover some instructions on how to make and produce the best tie-dye possible. The first thing you need to know is this, that you need a cotton shirt. The dye that we're using chemically binds to organic or cotton fibers, and that's how the dye stays in the shirt. So if you're going to use a performance tee, like an Under Armour or something like that, it's just not going to stick. The shirt needs to be made out of at least 50% cotton. Now the dye won't stick to any of the threading because usually that's nylon or synthetic. It also won't stick to any screen printing because also not cotton. Some people like to have a little screen printing on their t-shirt and actually might take an old shirt that you've used for gym class and turn it into something fresh and new. So that's a good choice. Or just go to Walmart, Walgreens, or Target, or even Michael's and get just a plain white t-shirt. Check the tag to make sure it's cotton. Next thing we're going to talk about is tying up your shirt. You can come to school with your shirt pre-tied, but we will have rubber bands available to you so that you can tie your shirt up. You only get a handful of rubber bands to do this, and truthfully you don't need that many to tie up your shirt properly. So if you'd like to use ours, they're available to you. Otherwise, bring your own. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of tying techniques that give you different designs on your shirt. The first one is my personal favorite, and it's called the sunburst. I'm going to use the t-shirts at the top to illustrate. Now the desired effect of the sunburst, you'll get concentric colored circles outside of one another. So you get red and the blue in the middle, then blue and then green and then yellow, depending on how many colors you decide to do. I personally would only suggest doing 2 colors or 3 colors, but no more than 3 colors, because once you do more than 3 colors on any design, the colors start to mix together and it just kind of turns brown or black. Typically for any design you use 2 colors, and then what happens is a little bit of white shows up due to the undyed part of the t-shirt. Now in order to achieve the sunburst, what you do is you grab the t-shirt, lay it flat on a table, and grab it by the middle and pull straight up. And what you'll get is kind of a long, skinny t-shirt crumple that kind of looks like this. And then every couple of centimeters you place another rubber band. And then in each spot you color individually with a different color. So the top is blue, the middle is green, and the bottom is yellow. And then you keep it like that for a while, and when you produce the shirt, clean it off and dry it out, what you'll get is the starburst. In this particular case, you'll have a nice blue in the middle surrounded by green on the outside of that, and then finish it off with everything else is yellow. Hey, that looks like Brazil, the Brazilian flag. Pretty cool. Anyway, that's called the sunburst. Next up is everybody's classic, the swirl, where you get the swirling colors coming out from the middle, and it's pretty traditional tie-dye technique. I have to say, I have personally never done a very good one of these. You can kind of see a swirl, but it's not great. Mr. Ott, in fact, has a Hall of Fame level swirl shirt. He hasn't done a tie-dye since then because he's just so good he's going to retire on top. But this one is a little difficult, a little tricky. But what you do is you put the t-shirt once again flat on a table, and you take the middle, pinch the middle of the shirt with your fingers and begin twisting either clockwise or counterclockwise. It really doesn't matter. And you twist and you twist and you twist. And eventually you'll get kind of a shirt in a circle. And then this is where a partner seems to help. But then you take your little shirt disc, which is actually twisted up t-shirt, and add rubber bands, maybe here, here, and here. And then what you get is basically some slices of a pie. And then what happens is you color each slice a different color and alternate maybe red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. You get the idea. And then you got yourself basically a t-shirt pie alternating colors red and blue. And when you untwist it, you're going to have a red, blue swirl pattern like this that kind of alternates red and blue. And it looks pretty neat when it's done really well. The last one I'm going to show you is the accordion fold, and you get an alternating stripe pattern. It's kind of cool. I've pulled it off once, but I kind of donated it or threw it away or something. But what you do is you lay your t-shirt flat on a table and you begin folding it and in an accordion style. So like back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, all the way up until you get to the edge of the shirt. When you're finished, you'll have like a flat, thick strip of t-shirt. And then you kind of turn it on its side and look down the edge, and then you dye each of the strips a different color, like this. And then you alternate, maybe red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, something like this. And then once you unfold it and wash it out, what you'll get is an alternating pattern of red, blue, red, blue. The last design really isn't much of a design, but it's called the electric crumple. Just take your shirt and crumple it up and throw a couple rubber bands around it. And then you lay it on the ground and you just start squirting color. And so you might get some patches of yellow and green and blue. Throw something else in there, and it's kind of abstract art. You just kind of see what comes out on the other side. So those are the ways to tie up your shirt. All right, now it's dye time. So we head downstairs, go out, follow your teacher out to the loading dock area into the grass, and you've already got your shirt tied up. First thing you want to do is throw your shirt into the solution known as the fixer solution for about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Throw your shirt in. You'll find orange buckets sitting along the curb. Let them soak. They'll float, but you don't need to submerge them. Just let it soak. The fixer solution is designed to strip the shirt of any chemicals or dyes that are in there, or any detergents used in making or cleaning the shirt. Basically stripping it down to just cotton. Step 3 is you're going to wring it out over the bucket. So you're going to reach in and grab your t-shirt and wring it out over the bucket. If you have any open cuts on your hand or any sores or something near your cuticles on your fingernails, it's going to sting a little bit because the solution is a weak base. The base, in this case, is going to cause a little bit of discomfort on your skin. It may dry it out a little bit too, so make sure you wash your hands when you're all finished with this whole overall process. Step 3 is you're going to pick 2 to 3 colors of dye. I would say 2 is best because then white will be your third color. If you want to do 3 colors, but be careful because colors tend to bleed together and produce colors that you may not want. A color combination that I would definitely avoid would be orange and green. Orange and green make brown. They're just not a nice color combination. But typically I tell students to pick 1 light color and 1 dark color and do those together. It makes for a nice contrast. Now you're going to dye the shirt 1 color at a time. So you take your shirt, which is still tied up, over to the color and squirt the color onto the shirt. At each spot, you want to make sure you add excessive amounts of dye. Get the nozzle of the squeezy bottle in between the folds. Get it in there real good and squeeze as much dye as you can. You want it dripping with dye. If it's not dripping with dye, you don't have enough. More is better when it comes to this dye. After you've put in the necessary dye on one part of your shirt, go to the second color. Literally pick up your shirt and bring it over to the other color or colors and do the same thing over and over again. You will receive 2 bags to do your tie-dye with, 1 for each hand. And the bags act not only as your glove but also as your storage bags. And so when you're handling your wet tie-dyed t-shirt, make sure you handle it with a bag over your hand. And you only get 2 bags. We don't have enough bags for everybody to have 7 bags. You get 2 bags. So use them and use them wisely. Finally, I'm going to tell you what to do at home in order to get your tie-dye cleaned up and ready to wear for Monday. So at home, about 24 hours later, you want to take it out of the bag and keep it tied up and rinse with cold water. So rinse with cold water until the water runs clear. You'll try to rinse out any excess dye. Then untie the shirt and do the same thing. This time rinse with warm water. Rinsing with warm water again will take some extra dye out of the shirt. You're trying to get as much as you can. When it comes to the first step, cold water, I like to use the garden hose. Take it out back into the backyard in the grass or in your crappy sink in the basement. Don't use your nice granite sinks in your mom and dad's master bedroom to do this. Do this in the crappiest sink you can find in the house. So you rinse cold, you untied, rinsed warm until pretty much all the dye comes out or until you lose all your patience. This will take a number of minutes, 15, 20 minutes total. Next thing you want to do is machine wash in cold water by itself. Now some people say add a cup of vinegar in, some people say add soap, some people say don't add soap. I haven't really figured out the best way to do this. Do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I wash it by itself without any soap or anything in it. I just let it go through the wash cycle once by itself. And then I hang dry. You might want to do this a couple of times just to make sure that it gets all the dye out. I would say after you wash it twice, you can throw it in with your other clothes, but for the first couple washes, make sure you wash it by yourself because some of the colors will bleed onto your other clothing. So next thing we do after hang dry is wear it Monday so we can see everybody's tie-dye and we can take a look at who's turned out great. Anyway, that's all I have for this video lesson. Thanks for listening.